Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today to the feature of Prezly's Newsroom themes. My name is Clarissa, and joining us today is Hugo, our product designer, and one of our front-end developers, Oleg, who will also be showing you around our latest theme, our plans for Newsroom themes to come. So you might have noticed we've been buzzing a lot about newsroom themes lately, especially our new default Bea newsroom theme that is an evolution of the classic Prezly theme, but with a new and improved layout fit for any sector. So we're also the first PR tool to offer the open source code for our newsrooms. So this allows our users to basically create their own newsroom themes that are fully branded according to their brand design guidelines. But Hugo and Oleg will touch on that later in the session. And we'll also have a quick Q&A to answer any questions you might have. So just leave them in the chat below. Right. Okay, so first things first. Right, so first things first, we added a dedicated theme section in the newsroom settings page over here. So we see this as a space that will eventually house all of our different themes, and the list of themes here will continue to grow in the coming months. So for now, with Bea, here's where you can set up your accent color, your header colors, your content options, and here's where you can also set up your newsroom font. But if you are currently using one of our legacy themes, you can always preview what your newsroom will look like with Bea before activating it. So you can see what it will look like before you actually activate the theme. So here's an example of a newsroom that is on the Bea theme. As the new default, any new or additional newsroom created will automatically be on this theme. It's newer, it's better, and it's more up to date. So you can see that this layout puts more emphasis on your latest stories. And for stories that don't have a header or a newsroom image, the Bea theme automatically pulls in the newsroom's logo so that there isn't any awkward space in your newsroom. So for example, in this newsroom here that is on the classic theme, we can see that it's a bit more text heavy, and this story that doesn't have a newsroom home image applied stays empty. So the alignment is a bit not symmetrical in this case. And with the new theme, we always make sure that there isn't an awkward space left here. Sorry about that. The screen wasn't sharing. I'll do that again. So again, as I mentioned, we added a dedicated theme section in the newsroom's theme settings page. So again, we see this as a space that will eventually house all of our newsroom themes to come. So for now, with Bea, here's where you can set up the accent color, the header colors, the content options, the typography. But if you're currently using one of our legacy themes like the classic or the staggered, again, you can preview the theme before you activate it. And again, like if you click on the preview link, you can see that this is a preview of what your newsroom could look like on the Bea theme. As I mentioned earlier, every additional newsroom created now will be on the Bea theme. So here's an example of a newsroom that's on the Bea theme. Again, the layout puts more emphasis on your latest stories. And for stories that don't have a header or a newsroom image, you can see that we automatically pull in the newsroom's logo, so there isn't an awkward empty space. Um, so over here is an example of one of our older legacy themes. This year is the classic theme. Again, as I mentioned, it is more text heavy. So you can see here um, in this story, for example, this story doesn't have a newsroom home image applied to it. So there's just an empty space here, and it doesn't look very symmetrical. So with the new theme, the new theme makes sure that the newsroom is fully symmetrical, and there's no awkward spaces in between. Right. So now I will hand you over to Hugo, our product designer, who will cover the Bea theme in more detail. And he'll explain a little bit more about why we designed the theme this way.
Yep. Hello, everyone. My name is Hugo, and I'm one of the Prezly product designers. I was the design lead on this project, and fun fact is that Bia was named after my daughter, so which makes me really excited to be here today and to guide you through our process, our decisions, how we made this happen. Um, so everything started on a product roadmap session around May last year. We were discussing on that section uh, what we could do to improve our clients' content and how we could make their content shine. And the answer was pretty obvious. So after a fun discussion, we 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 came up with a goal to make our users' content shine. That was to create the best newsroom in the world. I know this is a really big goal, but we believed we could make it, and I think we made it. So our old teams, or our current old teams, they are not really up to date. They're lacking consistency, especially like in fonts and readability, alignment issues. This is an alignment test we've made, and as you can see, there are lots of flaws here that could be taken care of. So yeah, we started to look on ways of improving it. Our first phase was the research, and on that research, we looked over 100 newsrooms, and we tried to rank them according to their UI UX, and we also made some tests on accessibility and readability to understand how the market is trying to solve these best newsroom in the world thingy. And yeah, here are some examples of some of the best newsrooms. One thing we noticed is that even the best ones with the biggest teams and the biggest brands, they have some flaws that we could work on. For example, accessibility issues, readability issues, and yeah, that was our starting point. You later on see that these newsrooms also serve kind of an inspiration for us on building our new theme. So yeah, the phase two was planning. We knew that we wanted to build the best newsroom in the world, but we also needed like some guides to do it. What should we include in that newsroom? And so basically we made this, but at this stage was a wish list of things to accomplish in order to make that happen. It needed to have great visual layout. It needed to be easily readable and accessible. That includes like having a fantastic mobile experience. Quick search was also something we noticed that our old themes were not doing great. So we decided to rework our search component. They needed to be easily customizable, and like this one is the most important of all, they needed to be adjustable to all types and sizes of newsrooms. We also wanted to include all the Prezly features present on the old themes. So yeah, these were our goals, and were the perfect start for phase three. That was designing it, and at this from now on, I will take all those bullet points and all those wishes and explain you how we try to fulfill it, to make that happen. On visual layout, we understood that lots of newsrooms have different card sizes, and we try to also make it, mainly because like these different card sizes are good for hierarchy. So the top story, the big one, is the most recent story, and then old stories start to go down and the cards start reducing. It's also more fun to navigate through, and it also helps with readability of the page. Um, Another important thing, especially for readability, was the fonts, the typography. We went with Inter as a default font. Inter, for those of you that you don't know, it's a typography that was specially created for websites, for screen viewers. So it was thought for having better readability than others, and it's also free and part of Google Fonts library, which was kind of a big deal for us. We really wanted to for the font to be open to everyone. We are also including more fonts for customization purposes. All of them were curated and selected from the Google Fonts library. These are the fonts, the most used fonts in the web right now, depending on their type. Um, Accessibility and readability. This was a really big thing for us. We wanted to make this accessible to everyone and easy to read, easy to navigate through. So yeah, on an accessibility test made on web.dev, we got a 94 points rate, which is really good. But I think I will not be able to sleep for until we reach the 100. But 94 is pretty good. So yeah, we also made some readability tests, but this one it's not really fully dependable on the design or on the page layout, but also depends on the content itself. We got for our demo newsroom that is full of dummy content, we got uh, a good rate, so which made me really happy. I believe like in other newsrooms with more structured content, this can easily go to excellent. Uh, Readability and accessibility wise was important to have a really good mobile experience, and our mobile experience in all themes is not that great, you know. As you can see, it's like the layout is not really well done. There is no hierarchy on the typography, and the content just gets kind of lost there. So we needed to change it, and here's a comparison on the previous, on the old theme and on the new theme. As you can see, like the content pops more on the new theme. It's more interesting layout wise, and it's easier to understand and to navigate. We also, as I mentioned, another important thing was the search component. We completely rebuilt it, and now you can, by typing your keywords, you can have quick results that you can access right away. So you don't need to to have like two steps, and you can easily find the content you are looking for. Another change regarding the old themes is that now we are including also the keyword within the story, not only on the title, and that was the way it was working. It makes sense. You can find things easily now. You can also filter it by category, year, and month on the search result page. This is pretty similar as what we had, but again, like layout wise, is improved, and it, it's like it looks better, so it's easy to navigate. Um, mm, to complete that, we wanted to make customization easy. Like this is was something that we noticed on the old themes. Customizing an old theme, one of the old themes, was kind of a really big task, and usually by the end of it, the results were not great. So we tried to understand what our users wanted, and we came up with a solution called accent color. Coloring was one of the main time consuming tasks on the new theme. And with the accent color, you basically need to add your brand color to the theme settings, and we will figure out automatically and smartly how to handle that color. We will create the shades and the tints for that. So we take care of everything. We just need to add your Xcode there. Um, Again, as I told before, this was the biggest challenge of all. Like we have customers with one newsroom and customers with 100 newsrooms, and to create the best newsroom in the world, we needed to support all of them. This was not a really easy job, but I think we nailed it. If you have one story, two, three, four, five, six, the content the content of your homepage and your newsroom just adapts to it. You know, this was made to make it look professional and look good in all the cases. Um, Another thing we noticed was that, as Clarissa mentioned, I don't know if you noticed, but like some stories didn't have images, and that makes that the content and the story card looks different from each other. To solve that, we created an image fallback. Basically, now when you don't have a story image or a story header image, we are substituting it for like a made image uh, per se. It's basically a background with your logo, your newsroom logo at the center, and this will make your newsroom to always look great and in brand. We also kept all the Prezly features, so the new theme supports the newsroom contacts, the subscription form, and the newsroom information such as the boilerplate or the about section, and the links to your social networks. Now that we went through all the features, let's see how it behaves in action. So I don't know if you remember, but the first newsroom I showed you was this one. It had a lot of lines in it for the alignment, but the first one was this one. This is the new room in the old theme, and this is how it looks in the new theme. As you can see, like the change is not really significant on this newsroom, on this particular newsroom. But for example, the subscription box is more prominent here, and the image is bigger, and everything is more aligned. Also, there is this tiny thing that bothers me a lot about this search icon that is not aligned, and here it's aligned perfectly. Um, Clarissa also showed you the Vent Airlines newsroom, and I will show you again to compare it. This newsroom is more customized than the other one, than the previous one, because it has header color and header links color. And so I'm just showing it so you know that this is supported on the new theme. Here's how it looks like in the new theme. Again, I think you can notice the difference, right? The content just looks more polished here. It's the same one, but it looks better. And this is my favorite one. I got stunned when I saw this for the first time. This is the IKEA newsroom, the whole newsroom, their current newsroom. It's a different theme. It's the staggered theme. And the good thing about it is that they have amazing images and really nice story titles. So they were the perfect use case for BIA. This is how their newsroom looks like right now. And let it go back to beginning. And this is how their newsroom looks like on BIA. As you can see, the hierarchy is there. Like everything is really well polished. It looks cleaner and, well, basically just looks good. It just looks better than it was. Today, it marks the day of the phase 4. We are officially launching the BIA. You can already um, BIA will be the default newsroom theme for all the newly created newsrooms, and you can already go to your account and activate it. To do so, you need to go to newsroom settings, themes page. You can preview how it will look like, or you can click edit theme, choose your settings, colors, fonts, and activate the theme. Um, that's basically it. This is not the only thing I want to show you today. I also want to let you know that BIA will not be alone here. Like, we are planning to build more themes and we are already working on them. The next one will be Greta. That is a theme that will come as a replacement for the our current old staggered theme. It's basically BIA with small changes to have a cascading style newsroom cards. We are also planning Sira, that is a more media focused or imagery focused theme. It's ideal for newsrooms with fewer content, fewer stories, and it makes like your media content shine a little bit more. Another thing we are planning is to add like really different themes from what we have right now and from what we always had. There is a dark version of Bia on the plants, and there is Marcel, that is also a dark theme with more focus on written content and, for example, blog posts or help articles or whatever is more has more text than imagery. We really want to, with Bia and all these new themes, we really want to build a community around themes. Like, one of our goals, or at least one that is in discussion right now, is to create kind of. I'm swimming in shallow waters here, but like, it's kind of creating a marketplace for themes, so everyone can create their own themes and can share that with Prezly themes community. For that, we are making our code and our design completely free, starting by the Figma UI kit. So if you are a designer, or even if you are not, Figma is quite intuitive, but if you are a designer or you have a design team, they can go to the Figma community right now and download or copy our UI kit and start working on it and changing it to create new themes. Another thing we are opening is the newsroom code. I don't really know what to say here, but I bet Oleg will do a great job next. But basically, you can go and download the code and start working on it to make the designs your designers made into reality. That's it for me. I hope you got to know a little bit how we thought about it and how we worked on it. And if you have any questions, just put them on the chat or contact me after this. But yeah, thank you all and have a good afternoon.
Have we changed yet? Yep. Sorry. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Oleg, and I'm developer at Prezly. I'll try to give you a brief overview of the great work that was done by our development team and present you with all the opportunities that the new themes project has opened for our customers. Here at Prezly, we started working on the themes project almost a year ago, and a lot of changes have been introduced during this time. Some of them were really big and noticeable, while other changes were made entirely on the back end without any significant changes to your everyday Prezly experience. But nonetheless, all of them contributed to this truly remarkable milestone that we are presenting to you today. So one of the biggest changes made to our newsrooms with introduction of new themes was moving away from our old and rigid PHP application towards more flexible and more modern JavaScript solution, which is powered by Next.js framework. This is one of the most popular JS solutions in 2021, and it has a really strong and bright future for the years to come. The key advantage of moving to the new language is the thriving JavaScript developers community. It opens much more possibilities, both in the amount of available tools and overall development experience, but also in that the knowledge base and developer tool is stronger than ever, because JavaScript has been the most popular programming language in the world for 9 years now, with almost 65% of programmers worldwide using JavaScript. And this combination of Next.js and TypeScript gives you a really strong community support and wide developer pool to make working on themes really approachable. And even for those developers that are unfamiliar with Next.js, it still has really great documentation, tons of tutorials online, and overall great learning curve. Moving to a modern tech stack allowed Prezly themes to be on the verge of web development trends, improving speed, accessibility, and mobile devices support, while also maintaining everything that you already loved about our old newsroom themes, which is quick and reliable page loading, sophisticated multi-language support, and overall great search engine optimization. And another really big change that was made under the hood and would probably go unnoticed if not for this presentation, it was lots of time spent on upgrading our newsroom infrastructure. Because contrary to our legacy themes, the new theme infrastructure is much more modular and detached from our main application. And this provides much more options for developing new themes for your Prezly newsrooms. One of the key benefits of that new infrastructure is that you can now self-host your themes wherever you need. The only requirement for your application is to be able to talk to our Prezly API. So this gives you lots of options when choosing the tech stack and hosting of your application, and you can have total control over the newsroom that you have. It is also allowing you to more easily integrate your Prezly newsrooms into existing websites and applications. And the graphic on the screen right now, it tries to illustrate the key differences for the new infrastructure. So the main difference is that the new newsroom applications can run completely outside of our main infrastructure, and all the supplementary functions are developed either through talking to the API or with standalone application like Privacy Portal, which I'll go into more details in a bit. And just to sum things up, like the main thing that we are providing with this new infrastructure is more control and less dependence on our development and our infrastructure. So let's go into a bit more details about the key advantages of this new infrastructure. So previously, you often had to ask Prezly support team to make even the smallest changes to your newsroom look and feel, be it font sizes or colors or just typography changes or really tiny layout changes like moving image to another place, for example. Now you can do it all by yourself, exactly how you like it, to all the specifications that you need, which is made possible with the headless CMS approach that Prezly fully adopted with these new themes. Basically, this approach means that our backend is only serving the data, and you have total control on which data you want to display and how it will look in the end. You can think of what Shopify or Contentful do with their platform. They're giving you the means to get your data with total control of the display of the data on your site. But with all this freedom and great opportunities, we still got your back on all the heavy stuff, which is live search, multi-language features, content fetching, search engine optimization, and much more. Right now, we're focusing on the JavaScript ecosystem, but because our API is not really language dependent, you can actually use any language or technology outside of this JavaScript stack. So if your developers prefer using PHP, Python, or Ruby, they will still be covered. When working with the new themes, our focus was to provide powerful tools for any developer to create their own themes quickly and with as little effort as possible, while also lifting off the requirement to deeply understand our infrastructure. These initiatives include a lot of open source projects, documentation, code examples, as well as providing standalone application for subscription and GDPR requests. This list will, of course, be growing as we will continue working on the ecosystem. So everything about the new themes is totally modular, so you can choose as much or as little features as you need, and you can not include anything you don't need in your theme. So, for example, if you want to have just a media gallery without text stories, you can do that. Or if you want to integrate your Prezly story feed into your existing website, we got you covered. Or for really exotic cases, if you want to display content from multiple newsroom in a single feed, it's also perfectly doable because we have all the necessary tools for that. And in addition to the content-related tools, we provide easy solutions for multi-language support for your themes, which includes URL language resolving, adding necessary meta tags for search engines, and of course translations for commonly used text for every language that our current newsroom supports, which is over 40 languages at this point. And the biggest thing about this is we're really happy to announce that all of these tools are available to all of our customers for free, and the theme creation tools are fully open source under MIT license. This gives our customers and developers full freedom to use and modify those tools to fulfill their goals in their own projects, as well as contributing to our repositories in any form, be it just a feedback or feature request or help with bug fixing and code improvements. And MIT license also allows you to use our open source tools in your closed source projects, giving you the freedom to not share your code if you don't feel like it. So for any developers watching this right now, please feel free to check out the repos that we will provide in the links in the follow-up emails. Feel free to play with the code and give us a star if you like what you see. And we, of course, will be adding more docs on theme development in the following weeks, but if you're keen to start playing around with it right now, feel free to contact us and we will provide you with all the info you may need to start. Now it's time to give a brief overview of the recently added Privacy Portal application, which I mentioned before. This is a key companion app for the new Prezly themes. It's our most sophisticated solution for the new themes so far, and we've been slowly introducing it to our customers during the past months as an opt-in feature for improved user experience when managing newsroom subscription and privacy requests. Previously, the subscription and data request pages were a deeply integrated part of the legacy newsroom application, and this greatly limited our possibilities of upgrading its interface and the user experience overall. And not to mention that the interface didn't support any languages other than English, which was a really highly requested feature by our customers, which was the main driving point behind this change. So the Privacy Portal provides your newsroom visitors with a great looking and convenient way to subscribe, unsubscribe, or send personal data requests to your newsroom. These pages are connected to your branding settings, and they're using your newsroom logo and the brand color. The most exciting thing about Privacy Portal is that it is now a fully standalone application that can be used with any newsroom, be it on the legacy theme or a new theme, and it doesn't matter where the theme is hosted at all. So it can even be used outside of newsrooms. For example, you can easily add a subscription form or just a link to subscribe to your newsroom on your own website. And of course, Privacy Portal is also available for every customer and also available for legacy themes. You can use it with the opt-in checkbox in your newsroom privacy settings. And let's talk a bit about the future steps. Some of them Hugo already mentioned. So the one of the main goals of this project is to build open and collaborative community around Prezly, and we will continue exploring new solutions and ways to improve your newsrooms even more. And there are really fascinating new horizons that we see ahead of us. And one of the key goals for the new future is to build a strong developer community around Prezly, which will bring more people into conversation with fresh perspectives and bright ideas that will help improving our products and bring even more benefits to our customers. We will, of course, gather your feedback and any questions on developing the themes, and we will keep updating the docs and help articles to give more useful insights and information for customers and developers alike. So this is a great new chapter in the Prezly history, and we're really excited to see what we can build together with you. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll hand it over back to Clarissa.
Thank you, Oleg. Well, yeah, thanks again for tuning in. And again, you can already preview and enable the theme in your theme settings. And as Oleg mentioned, we're still collecting feedback from our users, so please feel free to give it a try. And we'd also love it if you could share any suggestions with us. Um, yeah, as Oleg also mentioned, we'll send a follow-up with the webinar recording as well as all the helpful links that you can share with your developers and your designers. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot us an email, and have a fantastic week.